How y'all been? We're we'll talk about some real serious topics. Now, today, my title is What If They Would Have Killed Martin Luther King before they killed Malcolm? Malcolm and Martin Luther King had already come to an understanding, and Malcolm was the alternative to nonviolence. He represented resistance, and that's why the Black Panthers called themselves the Sons of Malcolm. And we're going to tie this in to present day. And I also put Dr. Umar in the title. If y'all follow me, you know I be critical of his Pan-Africanism. You know what I mean? Because I know that Pan-Africanism is a fallacy, is something that is unequivocally not conducive to the rise of us here in America. You know what I mean? Our people died here, they bled here, we entitled to this, we're entitled to reparations, respect, or whatever. So we're gonna break down some serious topics about like what's preventing us from getting down. What's preventing us from getting down? So for YouTube purposes, this is not my material. It's for commentary, educational purposes. So let's get it. I want y'all to listen to this interview with Umar right quick.
Because you don't make it to the NFL and NBA if we don't go through them struggles. You understand me? You don't make it to the Ivy League University if those ancestors before you didn't go through them struggles. So you're going to use all this ancestral sacrifice to achieve your quality of life and then give it all to a non-African woman. Financial betrayal.
Playing devil's advocate though, based off I say you wouldn't think that like technically the sacrifice was for them to go out and be able to date that white woman.
You're telling me that the sacrifice of our ancestors from resisting slavery through the Underground Railroad to fighting Jim Crow to fighting Willie Lynch to fighting civil rights to fighting black power, are you saying that you feel the ancestors would be okay for a black man to abandon black women and marry a non-African woman, that would be consistent with the sacrifice that they make?
Let me stop here. And this is the narrative that media and Hollywood always promote. They say that black basketball players, black football players, or black successful men, they go out and marry a white woman. That's a fallacy. It is. Those black men make up 1/10 of 1% of the population. And only a percentage of them actually marry outside their race. So it's a fallacy that they like to promote because they want women to think that as soon as a black man gets successful, he gonna go get a white woman because she got blonde hair and blue eyes. Don't you see that? They show you that in the shows with, they had that show, The Game. With the lady on there and her son Malik was playing football or whatever. And then Jason had the blonde sack chaser or what, I don't know what you call white women when, you know. I don't want to be vulgar or disrespectful to no other race or whatever, but I don't know what to call them because I don't think that's conducive for the survival and the success and the elevation of black people. So, you know what I mean? I prefer a black woman, and I don't think that I know too many black men that don't. So I think that's a false narrative again. Let's listen to Umar again and break it down. And I'd be critical of him, but he on point tonight. So I'm going to give him his props.
Maybe.
He played devil's advocate though.
I mean,
I'm asking, is that the devil's advocate?
I mean, the way you put it that way, I mean.
Let's go, YouTube. Don't slow me down.
Of black males, because protest has always been the foundation of liberation. If I can't speak out about what's happening, I can't do nothing about it either. So if I can get black men to shut the hell up, we'll be able to do anything we want to black people. So I see Kanye and Kyrie.
I've been telling you all this weeks ago, months. I think they be taking my talking points. When I was telling you, it ain't about Kyrie or Kanye. They're individuals, they got the freedom of speech, they got the right to believe what they want, and we don't got to agree with them all the time. But they have a right to their own opinion. First Amendment. So, at this point, you seeing the onslaught because they immediately went at Dave Chappelle. Umar speaking, I'm speaking, everybody in the new black media, and in these lanes in the metaverse and social media, as black men, we like, cancel us all. You can't make us all shut up. You're gonna make every black man in America shut up. You're gonna shut down all our channels, all our Twitters. Apple gonna have a problem with that. So, if we really tired of being exploited, why back down now? Why back down before elections? Why back down in the face of the so-called chosen people stealing our identity and wanting us to shut up so they can continue the grift? We all speaking bold. And these times they're so critical that if a black man ain't speaking bold, he ain't down with the team. Farrakhan even came out. And he almost 90 years old. He came out in defense of Kyrie and Kanye and Dave Chappelle and our people like no other. I talked personally to more Science brothers in Detroit, the More Science Temple. Shout out to Fuqua Bay. He's the Grand Sheik at the More Science Temple in Detroit. Good brother. Know his history. Shout out to Troy X. He's the minister of the Nation of Islam in Detroit. Know the brother personally. Know both the brothers personally. And this is what I'm putting out to you brothers in Detroit. Troy X and Fuqua Bay. You'll have the largest organized group of disciplined black men. Theological differences, religious differences should not even be a factor in how y'all operate in the city of Detroit. And I was in the Nation of Islam for over 20 years. I've been a minister in the Nation of Islam. I've been a captain in Detroit. I know Malcolm X's brothers, Elijah Muhammad's kids. My kids grew up in the mosque. Because that's what black people had. Now I'm saying, Fuqua Bay, Troy X, y'all should talk. Do you know these young people have a thing called pop-ups where people can do business with each other and whatever? Y'all are the two largest organizations in Detroit. with disciplined people. Why don't y'all create bazaars and shopping events to where black people can come and spend their money with each other and it be secure? Y'all can do it. Young brothers in the street ain't even gonna come around when they see the bow ties and the fezes. I shouldn't even have to give you boys this idea that y'all can be in the same city with all this going on and y'all ain't got together yet. That's just a message to my people in Detroit. Let's look back at Umar.
As a test run by the white power structure, which includes the European Jewish community, to try to see if they can get black men to keep their mouths shut. And we can't allow that to happen, because once we get silent about the things that matter, we as a people begin to die. And I also think it's very interesting, too, the manner in which the media is presenting the Anti-Defamation League as if they are a fourth branch of government. Okay? So in college, I was a political science major. And as we all know from high school or college, there's three branches of government.
Yeah.
Congress, the legislative, Supreme Court, the judicial, and the president, the executive. Well, lately with this Kyrie and Kanye situation, they're trying to make the Anti-Defamation League the fourth branch of government. It's like president, Congress, Supreme Court, and ADL. And it's almost as if the ADL says it's anti-Semitic, you have to believe it's anti-Semitic. If the ADL says Kyrie hates European Jews, you have to believe Kyrie hates European Jews. Since when did the ADL become the interpretive branch of government for black folks? It's like they're going to interpret for black people what is racist and what's not. What other community goes to another community and tells them, I have the right to tell you what's acceptable or what's not? I think they're out of hand. And to be honest with you, as someone who respects all cultures, all races, I think that black people need to call the European Jewish community out for their racism. What about the role they played in the transatlantic slave trade? They were some of the biggest slave owners. They were some of the biggest slave sellers. They were some of the biggest insurers of the slave ships. And they were some of the biggest banks that provided loans for the slave voyage.
I gotta stop here. Because this guy is on fire. And I'm usually critical of Umar. But he's speaking on things I've been telling you and not things I've been talking about. And you gotta understand what you're seeing. You can't stand on the sidelines with this one because it's about the destiny of a people. How in the hell can we have a connection with nature, the universe, God, whatever your spirituality level is? You cannot develop if your spirituality is based on lies. And that's what's hurting us. That our spiritual and our righteous inclinations are based on lies. So it's perverted. So we have produced this generation of children that know we think like slaves. And they don't want to be slaves. They'd rather be dead because death is better than oppression. That's Islamic principle. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like, with the content that's coming out, I suggest to the sisters, like, whatever beef y'all got out there with y'all men, boyfriends, or if they black, their significant other, if they need to fight for the liberation of our people, and that's not their primary objective, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? A domestic issue. But as far as black men who are trying to speak out and be proactive against this system without no central leadership is important. You know what I mean? Somebody who can unite us behind a common goal. But just like it said in the Bible, that the curses that you try to put on the real people is going to be revisited on you, because they opened up a can of worms with us as a people, because black women been saying, oh, we want y'all to protect us, you want us to respect you or whatever. We know what we got to do to get that. We got to stand these devils down. We got to get these devils off our back. We got to fight the real enemy. That when we fight the real enemy, we don't even fight y'all, and y'all don't even fight us. Let that play around in your mind. When you fighting the real enemy, you don't even fight each other. But when you let the enemy slide, see, these people thought that we was gonna let them slide, and they could just cancel. They could just make Menace to Society. They can make Boys in the Hood, drill rap. They can make us look like the greatest degenerates on the planet with their nefarious Luciferian ways. We have to reject that outright at this point. We all live by the grace of the God. The grace of the God. So I want you to, like, and if you follow my channel and my subscribers, y'all know I be hard on Umar when he talk that Pan-Africanism, because I know there's no way that I'm going back to Africa and try to take some shit over there, and I ain't took no shit right here. You know what I mean? No. If you know anything about the streets, the first place you get down is the closest shit around you. And as a new nation, as a new understanding of people, we get down where we at. And if you can't get down where you at, then you the person that got to run off somewhere and go try to do it undercover. But we got to plant our flag somewhere. And we plant our flag on, you're not going to tell us what to say. You're not going to tell us who to vote for. You're not going to tell us shit no more. You know what? This is my threat to law enforcement. If you ever arrest me, you're going to have to give me medicine for blood pressure, an MRE, a therapist, blood pressure medication, a vegan diet, and all that. For however long you arrest me for.
Just as well as holdings for those who made money from slave trafficking. Why don't nobody speak about that?
I didn't mean to hit that, but you understand what I'm saying? That's my perspective. I wish you would give me 30 days in jail. You give me 30 days in jail, I come out that bitch with new glasses, my teeth cleaned, and an MRI. Think I'm bullshitting. Hey, Miss Jansen, I see you done chimed in. You laughing. But yeah, arrest my old ass. My birthday was yesterday. Arrest my old ass, and guess what? I'm going to come out a new man for real. Because I'm going to make you clean my teeth, give me some glasses, clean my ears, give me an MRI, and a CAT scan, and blood work, and whatever. So arrest me for a parking ticket or whatever. I need that. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. So you can't be scared, as black men now, you can't be scared to say nothing, because what has been scared have gotten you. And then on this channel, you know, I don't have no gender wars, so it ain't about like how we as black men Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for telling me happy birthday. You late though. Your birthday was yesterday. You should have been on top of that. Because I went live then. But think about what I'm saying in the bigger scheme. And then I want to show you some more Umar because the points he's making, they 100. And I'm his biggest critic. I'm going to give him props on this.
Races and what's not. What other community goes to another community and tells them, I have the right to tell you what's acceptable or what's not? I think they're out of hand. And to be honest with you, as someone who respects all cultures, all races, I think that black people need to call the European Jewish community out for their racism. What about the role they played in the transatlantic slave trade? They were some of the biggest slave owners. They were some of the biggest slave sellers. They were some of the biggest insurers of the slave ships. And they were some of the biggest banks that provided loans for slave voyages as well as holdings for those who made money from slave trafficking. Why don't nobody speak about that? The Secretary of War for the Confederacy was a European Jew and a slave master. Why nobody talks about that? What about the Holocaust and the fact that there was only 50,000 Africans who were also incinerated with European Jews, but they're not mentioned at all in any Holocaust museum? What about the fact that there was a group of African soldiers from World War II, from America, who went to Nazi Germany and liberated the European Jews from their worst internment camps, and they're not celebrated nowhere by European Jews at all. So if we want to talk about racism, and if we're going to talk about anti-Semitism, let's talk about Semitic anti-blackness.
That was a lot. That was a
That,
lot.
that was a lot. That was like very, it's a lot to dissect.
Yeah.
But what I got from that was, you know, you saying that like, how can they, playing devil's advocate, right? This was a podcast called Devil's Advocate. It's like, how can we tell them that they not offended by something that they call anti-Semitic? Like us being black people, why can't
We have our own beliefs and our own views of things.
uh-huh.
I'm going to stop right there again. The word Semitic means that you either from Africa or Asia. How can some Europeans tell us we're anti-Semitic? And we can't say about anti-Semitism or whatever. See, what has happened is they overplayed their hand. They've overplayed their hand. Because at this point, the psychology of the average black man, especially if he's working and he getting money and he know what he know. He know he has to monetize his labor. He has to negotiate with labor. He has to negotiate with the world as an independent contractor on whatever shit he doing. So as an independent contractor, we ain't got no bosses. So how you gonna tell us to shut up? You can't tell us shit. You gotta monetize this video. This for my subscribers. This for my people that listen to me. That you know that fuck with me. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna tell them nothing wrong. Man, monetize your labor, and every opportunity you get, make sure that you don't spend no money with people that don't respect us and all of that. Like, to me, what I can't understand, how y'all go to Koreans, allegedly, no racial hatred, but how y'all gonna let them do your hair and your nails and give them all that money and they don't even respect you? And you sisters, y'all should accommodate other sisters or whatever, because how you gonna finance your own oppression? You go in their stores, they follow you around, you go in there, you know, they massage your feet, they have bacon it, you know what I mean? They nigga rigging all the shit. What you say, Miss Yancey? Lady, type right. I don't understand that. Oh, you said yeah. But yeah, y'all can't, like, And that's why I was telling the brothers in Detroit to create the marketplaces, the bazaars, the pop-ups, and make them, and let that money go into these systems. Have places where they can braid hair, they can do nails. If they make T-shirts, they can make T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stop. See, I know the problem with a lot of you brothers out there. Y'all think talking is building. You know, when a cat cut to me like, oh man, we need to get together and build. I be like, man, what you got a tool chest, you got a truck, what we finna go build? Oh no, you just wanna talk. No, shoot the shit. Hell no, that ain't building. You wanna kick philosophy. And talk about pyramids and the universe and the ancient Egyptians and all that. But you can't use a screwdriver, a lawnmower, a snow blower, put shingles on the roof. You know what I mean? Man, we gotta get back to what we know. Because at this point, if you're a real black man, you off the reservation. I don't agree with 95% of Kanye's shit, but I know he got a right to say what the fuck he wanna say. And then you can't come at Kyrie and Dave Chappelle and come at every black man that you want that's saying some shit that's real. No lies detected. You see they ain't called nobody a liar. Ain't nobody been called a goddamn liar. Well, what you said was offensive. It wasn't a damn lie. All my black sheeps put one in the chat. If you a black sheep because you speak on it in your family, you know what I'm talking about. You the only one telling the truth, but everybody against you. Have any of y'all ever been in that type of situation where you tell the truth, but the liars got the microphone? That's what we doing. We taking the microphone from Hollywood, all the exploitators, to all my black people that's out there, that's entrepreneurs. Man, bang it out. To my man Joe Staley with the Inhale Candle Bar, bro, you inspiration. Doug Cobra, yeah, you made me feel some type of way. Squeeze, like my circle tight with my homeboys or whatever that know me and speaking this, and I'm saying that black people, all we need is unity. You know what I mean? Man, I don't even like going to the stores giving the foreigners my money, and I know they selling me substandard shit. You know? I'm too woke for that shit. People be bragging about they got 3 jobs. I got 3 jobs. I gotta go get the what? That's some slave shit. We gotta get on code, black people, on code. Brothers, stop arguing with women, man. Stop sitting up on them platforms. And I'm glad that nigga Anton Daniels stopped having them platforms arguing with girls and then still talking about he represent Detroit and he went to Cass Tech and calling niggas Pookie and Ray Ray and all that bullshit. You need to stop that if you're in Detroit. You need to stop sneaking people in Detroit like Charleston White that be saying shit against Minister Farrakhan, talking about all kind of people. You need to stop doing that because you don't represent Detroit. Anton Daniel. Don't stop saying that. And then you be trying to play with people's names and shit and talk about your name, Devontae and Woody Woo and Pookie and Ray Ray. You zesty ass nigga. You know what? Live your life on the fucking internet. Live your life on the internet. But you don't represent Detroit. And that's all I gotta say to your ass. And you brought Charleston White to Detroit, just like that other nigga brought Charleston White to Chicago with his disrespectful ass, disrespecting Mama Duck and all them black women and disrespecting black people, period, for clicks and views, if that's what you're gonna do, stop talking about you represent Detroit. Stop it. You don't do that. I represent Detroit. I be at the Renaissance. I be downtown. Check my channel. Check my channel. I'm always downtown. I'm in downtown Detroit. You ain't no downtown, uptown, whatever. Stop saying that shit. And I'm gonna get off that. Because he be on so much bullshit. He be having them panels where they like to get some women on there and then he wanna fake and then down talk black women and support the narrative to get some money, like we think black women is maids. Or I don't know what type of shit he was on for a minute. And then he left from that and then went and switched on to some shock jock shit. Huh? What'd you say? He ain't from no Brewster Projects, Miss Yancey. What you mean he from the Brewster Projects? That's your homeboy? Cause you from the Brewster Projects. Get back on here. Call me on the phone. That nigga your homeboy? Lady, I'm finna call your ass. You told me that nigga from the Brewster Projects. Hold on, YouTube. I'm finna call Miss Yancey. She bullshit. I'm finna put her on speakerphone.
I said no. I'm talking you for the Brewster Project.
Oh, I'm just saying. Cause don't be talking about that lane and the way he sit up there and sit on all them. Huh?
I've seen it before.
You seen it before?
Down at Gucci grand opening.
Oh, he was at the Gucci store grand opening?
Remember that Gucci? Well, it had been open a couple of days. Him and some girl he be with, the girl he be with.
Oh, his wife?
Oh, yeah, he was, yeah. I can't believe they married. I can tell you, saying his fiancé.
I don't believe him either. Do you like him?
No.
See? And this nigga be talking about he represent Detroit.
I never heard of him before.
And bringing Charleston White and having all kind of topics.
I seen that too. I said no. I said you telling you from the Brewster Project downtown. Yeah, not from
He's not,
Detroit.
and he do not rep that. So y'all can keep Charleston White and all y'all can keep creeping up in here, disrespecting and doing all that bullshit.
Yeah, no, I was looking. I can't be losing because I'm watching you. I don't want to lose that. Oh Lord.
What you mean, oh Lord?
I was looking at you. I tell you sometimes when I get you, I find it hard to get back. I got you back.
Hey, Miss Yancey.
Yeah, I got you back.
If I want to go back to school, you think you can get me back? You got some connection and get me back in?
No, you do want to school for your masters now? Oh, shit, we talking.
I don't know. Hey, Miss Yancey, if I got a master's, I'd be too arrogant at that point.
You got a master's?
No, I don't got no master's. No.
Oh, okay, but that's all
I don't want to do the master's program. You see how they was doing? We was going up there in the master's program, stressed out.
But you got your bachelor's, right?
Yep, and associates.
Yeah, you just a whole lot of money, but you get your master's.
I'm not giving them shit. I'm not paying shit back.
Well, hey, you know what to do.
Hey, cause you know what? Hey, Miss Yancey. Hey, Miss Yancey. You know what? My daddy, he wanted that with good credit. He want that on his tombstone. He want that on his tombstone. He died with good credit. He ain't help his kids and none of that other shit. He just died with good credit.
Get you salary.
I want to die. I want to die on everybody, and I want to be buried on my stomach so they can kiss my ass if they were to get paid.
My girlfriend got her master's, and now she senior citizen and retired. So she went to school right before I was left on loans. We did her whole house.
Hey, Miss Yancey.
Yeah.
I see you enjoying the show because you ain't even trolling me. You ain't even.
Go back
You ain't even mad. You ain't even mad. You ain't even mad. You used to get mad at me when I be on here with some shit. So I'm gonna go back on. All right, I'm finna go back on here. I'm finna put him back on. All right, bye bye. All right.
So I think
Every
having an
people is
opinion on it.
entitled to their own opinion. The only
Absolutely.
thing you're
I
not
guess-
entitled to.
I guess what I'm saying is like us being black. How can we tell them that that's not offensive? In
I'll tell you why.
okay.
If I disagree with the way America was created, right?
Mm-hmm.
A white person says is anti-American to say this country was built on slavery and racism. The country was built on slavery and racism. Me stating a fact doesn't make me anti-American. Me saying that the original Hebrews were all African, that there were no white Jews in Kemet, is a historical fact. That doesn't make me an anti-Semite. In order for me to be an anti-Semite, I have to promote the hatred and oppression of Jews. To be anti-American, I have to promote the hatred and oppression of Americans. For me to be homophobic, I have to promote the hatred and oppression of LGBTQs. You follow me? So to be
So the key
anti,
word is the hatred.
the hatred. You have to be about hatred and bigotry. That's where freedom of speech stops. When you promote genocide, when you promote harm, when you promote extermination, when you promote bias, discrimination, racism, now you're being anti. But to say, I am the original Semite, that's a historical fact. Show me proof of any white Jews in Kemet. Show me proof of it. There's no white Jews at the time of the Jewish occupation of ancient Egypt. There's none.
Have you
They took over the religion the same way white people took over Christianity, the same way the Arab took over Islam. They conquered it and claimed it. So it's no secret how Jews became white. It's the same way Americans became white, Islam became Arab. They moved in, they conquered, they took it over, and they claimed it. That's the history of European imperialism, and they colonized religions the same way they colonized continents.
Have you seen the documentary?
I have not. I have not. I'm not a big fan of religion. I support our Hebrew brothers, and shout out to the Hebrew Israelites who went and protested at the Barclays Center in support of Kyrie Irving. Shout out to them brothers. I was one of the first, if not the first person to say there needs to be a protest at Barclays. I thought the black community was going to rise in protest, and they didn't. So I want to thank the Hebrew Israelites for doing it, because that was definitely a show of support that Kyrie needed to see, because we did not come to his aid the way that we should have. Given the fact that over 80% of NBA players are white, given the fact that nearly half of all NBA teams are owned by European Jews, the past commissioner was a European Jew, the current commissioner is a European Jew. Black people represent about 40% of the revenue. We overwhelmingly represent a disproportionate share of the sneaker sales from Nike, and of course sneaker sales are fed off of, they are a subsidiary of the athletic performance on the court, right? So I'm buying the Jordans because I like how Jordan played. I'm buying the Kyries because I like how Kyrie plays. So the sneaker sales are a related sale to the NBA atmosphere. So I think that if there's any sport where we need to be speaking up and speaking out, it's NBA. Our influence financially, in terms of revenue, in terms of athletes percentage who are black, in terms of how much of it we view. If black people need to be speaking up about anything, we need to be speaking up about racism in the NBA.
So to piggyback off what you were saying with,
See, this is where I disagree with his ass. Fuck racism in the NBA. It's racism in every job. Ford Motor Company, GMC, wherever you work, that's controlled by the dominant culture. They still have a pre-orientation to look at you as inferior. It's the American way. So, in these lanes, these new lanes in the metaverse, I'll be telling my subscribers that I deal with, like, you either a consumer or you a creator. Ain't nobody on the side of the fence, especially if you got a phone. If you got a phone, I bet you look at your phone more times.
Thank you for tuning in to another Devil's Advocate episode. We got two special guests in the building.
You check on your phone more than you check on anything else. So you in the techno world. Understand what you're looking at. And everybody who watches this channel, you know I be a real critic of Umar when he talk about going back to Africa. But when he talk about what he talking about now, you gotta give him his props. It's all real. Ain't no way they can make Boys in the Hood, finance gangster rap, finance drill rap, finance every negative stereotype about us, and then if somebody say something that they don't like, they cry foul. Fuck that. This shit is over. Cancel all of us. And I'm talking about not just YouTubers and not just, I mean, like, what y'all gonna do without us? Who y'all gonna exploit without us? Who y'all gonna pimp without us? How you gonna make money without us? I wanna see you do it. I wanna see Hollywood and all the players are trying to cancel Kanye and Kyrie Irving, and I'm glad Stephon Marbury spoke up. I want to see you cancel all black people and think and see what happened. Oh, I know what y'all thought. Y'all thought y'all was gonna bring a bunch of Mexicans over here and a bunch of Hondurans and create a workforce. Black people, don't let them do it. Get on top of your game before them motherfuckers even learn how to read. Because they gotta, if they can't speak the language and can't write it or whatever, get on top of your game. And then, you know, we talk about Rosewood and Black Wall Street. They'll try to attack it again. But they don't never want us to do that again because they know we'd be too shrewd for them to attack it. To attack it would be a war against a whole nother nation. Black people, come on, wake up. Don't tell me about no Democratic Party. Don't tell me about none of that shit that white people fed you to make you a slave. Because I'm off the plantation. I'm a runaway. House, field, runaway. Some of y'all are snitches and don't even know y'all snitches. Y'all just ain't snitched on nobody yet, but y'all waiting. Man, you ought to snitch on Jesus. You ought to snitch on Jesus. You see what Judas did for 30 pieces of silver if you believe the book. Break away from this culture. Why you so dependent? Like, oh man, Charles Barkley. Pitiful. Shaquille O'Neal, the biggest, blackest thing over here. House Negro. Man, you already got some money. How you let a broke nigga have more balls than you? That mean you really ain't shit. That you can have all that money and have all that influence and you won't do shit. You've been a coward all the time. All y'all celebrities. Stop worshiping celebrities. They get money and millions of dollars. They start buying clothes and cars and coming back to their hood, flossing. They don't do nothing for the community. Why would you listen to them? Why would you listen to them? Kanye, man, he make you have mixed feelings about him because you know he gotta be mentally ill because he all over the place. He like that person that offend you and then come right back in your face. You be like, I know you ain't bring your punk ass back over here. You know what I mean? Like a crackhead that run off with the sack or something. You know what I mean? And then come right back around and, hey man, I only got $19. You be like, I'm gonna bust your head. You know what I mean? Like, if you from the streets, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody owe you money and then come back and forgot about that and short on some other stuff. That's how Kanye operate. But the fact is, he still have a right to be bipolar and speak his mind because they went immediately at Kyrie because they couldn't punish him. Then they tried to go at Dave Chappelle. They tried to go at Ice Cube. Listen, you so-called chosen people, in Revelations, you know what it say in Revelations. I'm finna pull it up. So you can sue YouTube. I mean Google. Sue Google. Like y'all should have been fucking with Amazon when y'all start fucking with Kanye. But I want you to sue Google too. Come in everybody. I'm finna look at this scripture. Dig what I'm finna put in Google. Synagogue of Satan. Yeah, I go there. Why not? Synagogue of Satan. Guess what come up behind it? King James Version. Okay, let's read it. Here go my iPhone. Look at my shit. This is Google. Y'all gonna cancel Google? Y'all gonna cancel Google. Cancel Google. Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are who? Look, I want y'all to cancel Google. Cancel Google. So you Christians, y'all believe in the Bible? It said the people that call themselves the chosen people is liars and they the synagogue of Satan. Licensed students, yes, Ms. Yancey. Revelations 3:9. Behold, Revelations, just for the Christians. That's all y'all gotta do. That's all y'all gotta do. Or if you old school, go pick up your Bible. Muslims, go pick up your Quran. Death is better than persecution and oppression. You so-called religious leaders, y'all make me sick. I'd rather be a devout sinner than a hypocrite in the church. That shit don't seem like it's no fun. It seems like all bullshit. Like all day. Like all day, everybody just lying to me and fake. You know what I mean? Who wanna do that? Everybody, we just here and everybody fake. Everybody fake. Everybody lying. Everybody jealous. Everybody trying to one up each other. I got $55, you got a 50, you a broke motherfucker. That's the psychology. That's the psychology that they got us in because we don't read, we don't look at shit like this. And that's why I put Umar on, because I be critical of a lot of shit that he said. You know I don't like that Pan-Africanism talk because I know it's bullshit. Ain't no niggas packing up going to Africa. When? Oh, I wanted to show you the shit that nigga was saying about Wakanda, of the movie Wakanda Forever. Oh man, Wakanda Forever. They should have called that the Mexican takeover or the black superhero comic book shit. Go see Wakanda Forever. It's about what America is doing right now. How America is bringing in Mexicans across the border. Oh, and Wakanda Forever, they made them the superheroes against black people. Y'all still, This shit is getting sad on a certain level. And I'm not going to insult none of the people that subscribe and watch my channel, like I see people doing YouTube. I'm not gonna insult y'all, but when you look at Wakanda movie and you see that it's all about Mexicans and how Mexicans come in, and then you see how Joe Biden. I mean, like you don't see the parallel. Like you don't believe. They tell you everything is conspiracy theory, so you don't believe nothing that your people say. You believe everything they say. I told you about Constantine when Constantine created the Holy Trinity. He gave everybody something to believe in, and all that shit was a lie. I don't know what my microphone doing. That bitch was sounding green. Like I'm green lighted, but it's deep that we ignore the truth. Stop doing that. You know what I mean? If I got one thing for my subscribers, stop ignoring the truth. Stop making excuses when you see shit and you know what it is. Stop being denial. Stop being so scared. Stop being so scared of these people. That's the only reason I played Umar, because he put his neck on the line. He know they'd try to cancel him. But like everything he said, he put his neck on the line. Okay, guess what, bro? I'm supporting you. Because I know coming out like that, that'll shut your platform down. And every other brother, my message to black women, for real, analyze your man you with. If your man right now and at this particular time is preoccupied with the evolution and freedom and respect, security and safety of black people, rock with him. If he just want to ball out or whatever did, you and that, you know, man, I know some people that's self-destructing, and you can't even tell them they self-destructing. They think they telling you the slickest shit ever. And they self-destructing. So, I got on live tonight because I want to get Umar's props, because I be critical of when he don't got a message, but he did stick his neck out. And for the nigga stood up on truth, whatever his hustle is. He spoke the truth. Like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you to my subscribers, because guess what? I don't get no promotion. That's why I feel comfortable with my platform, because everybody that's subscribed and still with me, obviously, they like me. You know what I mean? And all the people that don't feel me or whatever, hey, that's in the billions. That's in the billions. I can't worry about that shit, just like you can't. Speak your mind, have your truth, don't be silenced. Stand on what's real. And again, pay attention to these young people like Lil Durk and the rest of the rappers or whatever that's trying to stop the violence with the youth. Look into it. Because if you're an older person and you don't care nothing, you ain't paying attention to nothing to deal with the youth, you in the way. You need to fucking go and just turn the mummy dust and get the fuck on. If you ain't investing in the future. Whitney Houston said it best. The children are the future. If you ain't investing in that, you just trying to sit around and watch reruns and eat bonbons or whatever, you in a goddamn way. Let your baddest grandkid get your house and turn it into a crack house and at least grind for a year before they take it. Because you're not an activist. If you're not actively involved in the elevation of black people, and I use that word because we identify with so much, Hebrew, Israelite. And I told you, like, I understand what them brothers trying to do, but the word Hebrew is Greek. It derived from the word Eber. I'm like, black people, step your fucking game up. Stop it with the bullshit. That's what's preventing us from rising. Hebrew is a Greek word that comes from Eber. Israel is the name of Yaakov, who y'all call it Jacob. I'm gone. I'm going on this note. I showed you Umar, and I hope that what he said was interesting enough to make you investigate and look at things a little bit different. But I'm finna sign out of Detroit. Y'all be good all across the country. Black people worldwide. Worldwide. Worldwide.